Hey guys, do-it-yourself Andrew Flockhart here, and today I'm making a dog food bin. Good boy. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm really excited about this dog food bin build today. Firstly, I went to my local Home Depot and bought an 8-foot 2x12 and an 8-foot 2x2. The 2x12 will be used for the dog dishes and the 2x2 being used for the legs. The rest of this project though was going to be done entirely from pallets, but unfortunately I was out of pallets. So I went to my local Walmart and picked up a few pallets up there for free. Make sure you ask though. And these will be used for this project as well as other projects in the future. If you haven't seen my video on how to easily take apart pallets yet, I definitely recommend checking it out. The link will be in the top right corner right now. So instead of showing you how to take them apart, I'll just do this. Man, is that ever easy, guys? See? I said it was easy. All right, so I'm gonna cut this board here and I forgot to plug it in. Make sure you plug your table saw in, guys. Okay, let's try this again, and I blew a breaker. Great. I ripped all the boards to create a nice flat edge to work with, and since I didn't need the edges to be precise, I didn't use a joiner, nor do I have a joiner. Once I had all the boards ripped and I had a nice clean edges to work with, I laid them all out on the floor to see how many boards I needed to cover one side of the bin that would hold the dog food. I needed roughly 7 boards, but I wanted the sides to be even for aesthetic reasons, so I ripped both the end boards another 1.5 inches to create one side for the box. Instead of trying to deal with gluing and clamping all the boards together, I just used a small scrap board to brad nail the sides to. It turned out quite nice actually. Am I lazy for not gluing? Probably, but this worked really well. I then cut the side down to length and bam, one side was created. And not to bore you guys with making all 4 sides, I'll just do this. Man, I should really start working like this more often. I then just brad nailed the sides of the box together at this point to give it some structure, and I knew I would be adding a bottom to this to also supply the strength to the box, so I wasn't too worried about strength at this point. And bam, a box was born. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'm posting weekly and I look forward to making more videos just like this one, so stay tuned. Okay, so I actually brought some glue out to glue some pieces down to give the sides a nice aesthetic appearance as well as to cover the brad nails. I then measured out the bottom width of the box and cut more boards to length to give it, well, you know, a bottom. I did this with brad nails. It worked great. I then went over and cut out the lid for the box with my extremely expensive circular saw that I bought at Walmart for 20 bucks. Yes, it was actually $20, and that even included a blade, which I had to replace. But you know what they say? 20 bucks is 20 bucks. I then measured out a faceplate for the lid that would sit flush with the front. I cut it to size and brad nailed that sucker to the lid. And there we had it. A lid was born. The old girl just needed a hinge. I cut the hinge to length with a hacksaw and attached that puppy onto the back. Did you get it, guys? Puppy? Like the dog food bin? Okay, never mind. Once I had the hinge cut to length, I drilled pilot holes in the back of the bin to avoid splitting the boards and drilled screws into the back. I just got these DeWalt driver and impact and absolutely love them. If you guys are in need of a new drill set, I highly recommend these. I will leave a link in the description as to where you can get them. As you guys can see, there's a piece of wood on either side not allowing the box to open properly, so I naturally cut these pieces off. I just removed them with a little handsaw and she was working perfectly. The time had come for me to make the tray where the dog dishes would sit, so I broke out the 2x12, measured her up, and cut her to length. I next had to figure out exactly where the center of the board was and put the dog food dishes equal distances from one another as well as equal distances from the side of the tray. Measure twice and cut once, I always say. But I don't always follow my own advice. Mind you, this bowl was a weird size. Yeah, I'm definitely going to blame it on the bowl here. Guys, I told you it was the bowl, alright? Stop judging. I next proceeded to sand the entire tray down to remove any sharp and rough edges. Sanding is always an essential part to any build, unfortunately. I then ran boards on the bottom of the bin and the tray to attach it together with screws. To attach the legs, I drilled 5/8 inch holes in the tray and drilled a screw into each one of the holes. Once the screws were in, I could fill the holes with glue and dowels. I cut the dowels flush and sanded any edges off by hand. This gave the front a nice flush look with no visible screws. I haven't done this much before, and I'm loving the final product of how these flush cut dowels look to hide screws. I suggest everyone giving it a shot. You'll be happy with the result. I did the same process on the side of the legs with a beam between them to increase stability. I would have made a different design, but I didn't have enough 2x2s left, so I made do. If you do this project, I definitely recommend buying another 2x2. I did find this process made the legs a little bit wobbly since there was only one screw into each leg, but fortunately enough for this build is that there was pressure onto each one of the legs and it was stable enough to do exactly what it needed to do. I then began the staining process. I used a dark walnut stain by Minwax and then I used white for the legs. I've been using this dark walnut stain for most of my projects throughout the house, and the house is really starting to give that farm style look, which I'm really happy about. I love this dark walnut stain and I definitely recommend it to others. I'm always looking for new builds and open to new ideas. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys are up to or what I should build next. I'd love to hear from you all. I attached a nice black handle that I bought for $5 from my local Home Depot, and it really gave the bin a nice touch. To attach it, I firstly drilled holes through the box that matched the size of the screws and then drilled the screws into the handle from the underside of the lid. I bought similar handles for my bath caddy in a recent build. I will leave a link in the top right corner now. And with that, the box was complete. I brought the bin in for the dogs to reap the rewards of my hard work. I didn't have time, but I plan to write dog food in white paint with maybe some dog footprints on it as well. I think this will add a nice touch to it overall. This bin will roughly hold 2 large bags of dog food, which is perfect for our pups, as they eat a lot. The size overall is perfect for our situation, but the box can be modified to whatever size you need. The dogs were really curious about it, and the golden retriever, Bo, was extremely eager to try it out. The husky, Oliver, on the other hand, needed a little more convincing. But he's always like that, so I wasn't too worried.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Do-It-Yourself Andrew Flockhart. Until next time, take care.